Hi everybody, this is Danny Klaus, and today I'd like to teach you how to do some simple chord additions. And by that I mean ways to kind of add to some familiar chord shapes and to create some similar sounds that might be something you might want to use to compose and also to kind of spice up your first position chords. So the three chords that I'll be working off of today are ones that I've showed in a previous lesson. They are, in the first position, C major, A minor, and D major. Okay, so let's start with C major. Now, the C major chord is one that all guitarists probably have come across pretty early on in their training, but it seems to me that when you play the C major chord, first of all, you have a pinky, and so that tells us that wouldn't it be kind of cool to say put our pinky on the right behind or in front of the third fret on the second string, which gives us a D, and then when we play the progression, or not the progression, but the arpeggio again, it changes. So here's the C, and here it is with the pinky on the D. Again, second fret, third fret, second string. And that could be something you just might want to do, just go back and forth between the two. All you're doing is lifting off your pinky, up, off, up, off. And by the way, this chord is a C add 9, if you want to know. The add 9 is the D, that is the ninth. It's also the second. So that's just kind of a simple way to do a chord addition. In this case, you're adding, again, a D. It's still in the realm of the C chord, but it changes the color, changes the character, makes it a little more interesting. Similarly, what you can do off the C major chord, again, what if we just took off our index finger and then we have instead of a C, we have a B, and this changes the chord from a C major to a C major 7. Here's C major, here it is C major 7, again with your first finger off. Very jazzy, right? I'm a big fan of the major 7 chords. And that could be another interesting thing to do off the C major. Just C major regular, take your finger off, and now you've got C major 7, and you're getting closer to the realm of jazz in that way. But it can be used in rock too. And then one thing to maybe think about off that C major is to combine all three chords that we just know right now. The C major add 9 that we just showed you, and the C major 7. And all you're doing is simply moving your index finger and your pinky, these two fingers on the root note, the C, and the E here on the second fret on the fourth string, the E, and the open G are always there, so they're kind of a drone that you can kind of get. So that could be something that's useful for you if you are writing a chord progression. Okay, so now let's take a look at the world of the A minor. And so for this one, there's lots of things we can do, but I thought it would be interesting and useful if we put our pinky on the first fret, right? Try that again. Our pinky on the first string, right in front of the third fret, gives us a G. Play the chord again. Totally changes the color, the character. This G is a very important note. This has changed your A minor to an A minor 7. This G is the 7. It's the dominant 7. And that could also be something interesting, right? Just go from an A minor and then add that dominant 7 again on the first string, third fret. Take it off. Just adding that pinky there. And that could be, again, something you may want to also throw in with those C chords we were doing. As opposed to if we didn't learn this and we're just going from C major to A minor, it's fine, but it might get perhaps a little boring and you might want to kind of add some interesting notes to it, and that's the kind of idea here. Okay, and so the last chord I'd like to show you today is the D major, which we learned before. It's right here. And one thing you can do, among others, is to put your pinky down on the first string right in front of the third fret, that's the G, and then take it off and play the chord again. Do that again. A bunch of times. And what you're doing is you are playing what is called a D major suspended fourth. And as it was explained to me, the suspended word comes from this idea that it's kind of, unresolved. It's up in the air in a way, and it wants to kind of come back down the earth. And to resolve it, one way to do that is to take the pinky off and go back to the D major. This is a very, very, very common chord movement. It's not really progression because it's still in D in music, in rock music. You've heard it before. Probably most famously the Who song Pinball Wizard, though I think Pete Townsend plays it on a capo further up, but it's the same idea and he plays it much faster. So there you go, that is the D suspended fourth. Again, all you're doing is simply putting your pinky down and taking it off. So for all these chords, the good part of these simple chord additions is that the fingers in kind of the lower strings are always there, they're not moving, and you're simply moving your other fingers, mostly today the index finger and the pinky. Of course, there's lots of ways you could do these simple chord additions, and this is just meant to kind of give you an introduction. But one thing I would say, and one thing that has served me well when it comes to just playing music, is once you learn something, in this case a G chord, ask yourself, well, what if I did X? What if I took a finger off? What if I added a finger here? And just see what happens. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? If it doesn't sound good, then don't use it. But in so doing, you're going to perhaps stumble on your own simple chord additions that you might find useful. So that is it for today. Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.